ever found yourself waking up in the middle of the night to go to the bathroom or acting like you enjoy your mother-in-law's cooking? Hi, I'm Cole the Cornstar, and I bring to you Cornstar Farms merch. When I was in college, I was sick and tired of hearing about peeing in the middle of the night-itis and bad mother-in-law cooking, so I decided to do something about it.
9 months ago, I received my first piece of Cornstar Farms merch. It changed my life.
Since getting a hold of Cornstar Farms merch, my diaper bill has dropped 23%, and I haven't gotten in an argument with my mother-in-law since. So if you're ready to change your life for the better, order through the link in the description for 0% off and pick up some Cornstar Farms merch. Ow! Hey everybody, you're watching Cole the Cornstar. Hey Dad, we need a joke to start the video.
Ooh, geez, I don't know any.
So today we're at Mom and Dad's house. We have some cleaning to do because Cooper graduates this weekend and we're having his graduation party over in the main heated shop. So I need to power wash the house. We currently got Cooper running around in the skid loader. Dad and Sable are down there power washing stuff up, picking up some areas. We have one of our worst neighbors, Sarah, down in the front yard working on a flower garden. I'm honestly not sure where everybody else is at, but we have a lot of work to do, so let's take a nap quick and get her done. Jeez, Mom and Dad, looks like you guys could use some fertilizer in your yard too. Oh wait, we gotta do that as well.
This morning when Sable pulled in, all at once I thought the sun had dropped to the ground. She glows in the dark.
So I got my pit vipers on, Dad, 15% off through the link in the description. Nice and easy now. Hey, what'd I tell you? No parking in front of the garage.
We're cleaning up the tires today that came off of the 340. They're almost like brand new. We just decided, you know what, if we put them in a shed, they're gonna sit there for 20 years. We might as well put them up for sale. So we're gonna try to sell these tires. This is like a sheep, but it's got a motor on it and it mows our lawn. Sheep mow more. This could be interesting, this could be scary, this could be the end of our lawnmower.
That's a bad idea. How you guys making out over here?
We're gonna see if we can make a mess.
You know, you should burn that through a oil burner instead of just making a mess.
That's where it's going.
See how messy this is, huh?
Oh yeah. Are you kidding me? I leave for an afternoon and they get this building cleaned out. Just rub it in. It's like that tanning oil.
Sable's finding out sometimes this ain't the funnest job.
I've been power washing here for about an hour now. It's really not going too bad. The house is extremely dirty. Mama Cornstar said the house has never been power washed as long as it's had vinyl siding on it. And I'm pretty sure that's been on here for over 30 years now. You know, if we got smart, we could probably figure out how to refine this back to gasoline.
Yeah, then we can retire and sit on the beach somewhere.
Yeah.
It came out the other side. Whoa, you should sit on my house.
That's a good throw, Amy.
It was good, wasn't it?
Everybody's not here right now, and I got one thing that's been driving me crazy for the last couple weeks. Our little case tractor here from winter time, hauling corn in and out of the machine shed, snow falling on it. It's just doesn't have that bright color right now. It needs a good wax job. I'm gonna take it outside. I need to give it a nice bath, soap it up again. I'm gonna put it back here in the shop. It'll dry overnight. Maybe tomorrow we can get this thing waxed up quick. I'm looking for my sponge. I've lost that more today than I've lost what I've lost that I forgot that I lost. Bet Cole stole it because he's washing the house. Probably most of you, 99.999% of you guys remember the story. Mama Bear and Papa Bear. Papa Bear, Baby Bear. We like both of these case tractors. This one here is a 1991, roughly 200 horsepower, I think. This one here is a 2013, 340 horse. But we don't use this one a whole lot anymore. Cooper likes to use it for making hay. We'll sometimes put a small grain cart on it, but we haven't done that for probably a couple years either. It's starting to get dark outside, beautiful night, but the temperature's dropping fast. Oh, we gotta pull in the hose. Gotta pull in power washer hose or wouldn't be good. Tiptoe through the tulips. Just squish the tulips so there's no more tulips.
Holy smokes, it's cold out there, but we got a lot more to go in the house, so see you guys in the morning. Good morning. Grow, little Kentucky bluegrass, grow! Guys, it might seem like I'm spending a crazy amount of time in the yard lately, and that's because I am. Once it gets above 85 degrees, Kentucky bluegrass basically goes dormant and it'll kind of stop spreading. And so I'm trying to throw as much resources at the grass as I can right now while it's growing and spreading, so that way the grass can get as thick as possible. Because there's still some areas here where it's still pretty thin. Hey, what are you doing here?
Coming to get my boxes back.
I don't have any boxes.
Brought reinforcements. We'll shake you down for them.
Let's go. If you guys are new to the channel and you don't know who that is, that's Brandon from Champion Seed, and he's here to pick up his seed boxes.
Oh, I'm going through some of our old videos on Call the Cornstar, and it's just hilarious. But I gotta say, thank you guys for sticking with us. And am I focused in like, someday I'm gonna learn this focus thing on this camera. Hey Anna, hey buddy. I could just see in the eyes of Sable, she's like, DC, we need to get this tractor waxed up. It's absolutely driving me crazy. And them all made up words out of my own mouth. But I said, why don't we go ahead and wax the tractor first? Boy, that tractor looks a lot better getting it waxed. It makes me feel better.
Ready to go scout some crops?
We're gonna go see how the emergence is doing.
So this year we ended up planting 3 different varieties of Champion corn and 3 different varieties of Champion soybeans. So right now we are out in our first planted field. This is the farm we call the Bush Farm. We have Champion 58A21 out here. This is the corn that Brandon predicted is gonna be the champion yield. I'm standing on corn right now.
Sabotage the contest.
All right, Brandon, you're the agronomist here. We'll let you take it away.
This time of year, what we're really kind of looking for is just a nice even emergence. We want to see all these little plants be at the same stage, the same height.
Here's kind of a good example. We have some taller corn, and then we have just a little baby one kind of poking through the residue right here. Since this one had so much kind of residue over it, it was shaded out, it stayed a little bit cooler, so these other ones heated up a little bit quicker, came out of the ground sooner. So what we're trying to do in a field is we want everything to come out at an even time. Is that realistic in the real world? No, but we can try our best. Brandon, this one's kind of like a little curled up, little discolored, so is that one, but this one looks good.
I think we're seeing a little bit of frost damage. The last few nights we've had some pretty low nighttime temperatures. What I'm seeing here is we still have, some green on the leaves, and so I think the plant's going to be okay in the end. It's more just a little bit of tissue damage.
Oh, hey, that's cool. We got a green corn and then a purple one.
So this green seed is 58A21, what we would call the main component of our hybrid seed. This purple seedling here is what we would call refuge, and so this one doesn't have the insect traits built into the plant that this green one does. And what that does is helps prolong any kind of insect resistance to the trait and prolong the efficacy of the insect protection built into each individual hybrid.
How do you spell efficacy?
E-F-F-I-C-A-C-Y, maybe?
So beyond the visual reference, the coloring is actually a seed treatment, and what that does is protects against different insects and diseases that the plant could develop. We planted this field on the 23rd of April, and when we plant that early, we carry some risk of it not warming up for quite a while, so the seed could sit in the ground for over a month before it comes out. So by having that treatment on there, it helps protect against any diseases that could develop during that time, and ultimately, it's going to help us have a better yield. That a Champion Seed issued shovel?
Yeah, I shouldn't have given my other shovel to the intern today. That's what we like to see. Some nice root development, a lot of root hairs, starting to take in some nutrients and feeding that plant. Judging by where the seed is compared to where the soil line is, it looks like planting depth is kind of right at 2 inches was what we like to see.
The corn's kind of getting at the size now where just in a few days we get some heat on this, it's going to be this tall in no time. And then it goes from this tall to this tall in like a month. So planting depth looks pretty good, roots look pretty good. We have a little bit of frost damage.
Now what do you want to talk about?
Do we want to do a stand count? Brandon, this is not a sobriety test.
So what we're doing is we're measuring off 17.5 feet on 30-inch rows like this corn is planted. 17.5 feet represents 1/1000th of an acre. So we can count the plants that are merged in that 17.5 feet, multiply by 1,000, and that kind of gives us a representation of how many plants per acre ended up emerging.
17, 3, 9, 2.
30. I think there might have been a few emerged here that were
Buried.
maybe buried under some of this residue too. There's one there.
That's kind of one of the challenges we run into with no-till. You get some areas that have a little bit more residue than others, so it gets covered. It takes a little bit longer to come out of the ground, and overall we might lose a little bit of emergence due to that. But we also are not making a tillage pass, less wear and tear on that tractor, not having a tillage implement, hiring someone. So kind of evens itself out.
Yeah, there's definitely a trade-off going to no-till practices.
Yeah, I would say that plant right there is probably, what, 3 or 4 days behind one of these?
I'd say probably right at 3 days. But you look at its neighbors that it's going to be directly competing with this guy, and it's probably only a day behind, so that isn't too bad. If it's sitting right next to a plant that's 3 days ahead, that plant's obviously going to have an advantage and probably end up out-yielding its neighboring plant.
Because when you have a little guy next to bigger guys, you get kind of the runt of the litter effect. So the bigger ones are going to be robbing more nutrients, and it's just going to take away from that little one. So that little one is going to be behind the entire rest of its life. Unless you take it out. I'd say that's not too bad. Planted 34.5, 32 came up. So multiply that by 1,000, 32,000 plants. We're kind of in the bottom part of this field. This ground here is a little heavier, probably a little more fertile. You want to walk up the hill a little bit? You can maybe see some little lighter soil. Kind of another advantage that we have running no-till here, as we can see, we have quite a bit of old residue in this field. This residue serves as a nice mat. So when the sun's beating down on this, the dirt underneath is not drying out nearly as quickly. So we're gonna have better moisture retention. So if we go through a bit of a dry spell here, our crops are gonna benefit from that because it has more moisture underground versus something that could be conventionally tilled. Okay, Brandon, we've walked like 4 miles. I think this is a good spot.
We'll pick a row this time that we can tell the row cleaner did a little bit better job moving that trash away, and see if we see any difference from down there with more residue to up here where it's a little bit lighter.
Don't worry guys, it's official.
31, and we found one skip right here. So a skip is where typically, based on our population and our plant spacing, there should be a plant here and we don't see one. So what we'll do in that case is we'll do a little digging, see if the planter actually skipped placing that seed there, or if it did place the seed and it didn't germinate, it got infected with disease or an insect got a hold of it, and kind of see what caused this problem here.
Because there should be a corn plant about every 5.5 inches or so, and here we got a nice probably 18-inch gap. We might have 2 seeds that we're missing. Last year we were running into the issue of we planted early and then it didn't warm up for like 6 weeks. The ground just stayed so cold. We had a lot of cold germ, and so stuff sprouted underground, started, and then just didn't have enough heat to come out, and so we had a really bad stand because of that. Like right here's a perfect example. About every 5.5 inches, that just looks beautiful. This next field we're here, this is the original champion field. This is the field we call Kristen and Rusty's, but this has beans in it, and I'm not called the bean star, so. All right, let's go back.
So as I was mentioning on corn, the growing point stays underground for the first several weeks of the corn plant's life. Soybeans is the opposite.
This is the growing point, this top part here. This is actually a soybean seed, and then the root just pushes it up out of the ground. Where when it comes to corn, the growing point is the seed itself, and that stays underground, and then the little root that grows off of it ends up being the part that comes up top. So are we looking for anything different with the soybeans versus the corn, or are we still looking at stand, see if we have any frost damage, emergence?
Yeah, I mean, in general, we're just kind of looking for good, green, healthy looking seedlings, which we're seeing here. We still have a lot poking through, so we could definitely do a stand count. here today, but I think what I'm seeing with a lot of these plants just kind of underneath the soil surface, if we get a rain here in the next few days, kind of moisten up this soil, we're gonna have a lot more plants pop through. So probably here in about another week or 10 days is when a stand count would really give us a good idea of how many soybean plants per acre are gonna come up.
Your sunglasses are looking pretty good right now. Did you go through the link in the description to get 15% off?
That's exactly what I did. I followed the link in the description.
Do mine look that cool?
I like them.
All right, Brandon, we'll see you later. Thank you. Well,
Hey, you're placing the telehandler, aren't you?
yeah.
I'm gonna bring the dually over and we have to unload the junk off this trailer.
Okay, that sounds good.
Alright, be there in a minute.
Okay, bye.
Cole just brought the
Tickler bone.
petty bone down, so I think he's gonna do some washing on the house and he needed the lift.
Oh, hi, Anna. Hey, come here. Come here. Just got started good up there, and then my power washer shut off. I had it plugged into the garage, and I wasn't getting any juice to the power washer. So I tried my front GFI outlet again, and that's not working. Checked all the breakers, nothing was wrong, so I did what anyone else would do. I just went to a different outlet. Are you kidding me? I think she's done. Well, that's annoying. I'm like halfway kind of done with this side. We have a power washer down there, but I don't have 200 feet of hose to get up here to the house. Let's see. Who has a power washer that I could use?
Hey, Cole.
Hey, you wouldn't have a power washer by chance, would ya?
Yeah?
Well, we got a power washer, but we're not gonna be able to get it tonight. What do we do with our free time? Yards mowed? Now I'm just gonna sit out here and watch my sprinklers for a while. All right, guys, we had a solid past couple days. Remember, we have Cornstar Farms merch available through the link in the description. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. If you're not subscribed, don't know what you're waiting for. Thanks for watching, guys. We'll see you in the next one.